Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the God Talks podcast, where we explore the intersection of faith, culture, and personal growth. Joined today by my good brother Anthony Coates. Let me make sure you're not muted up right now. Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2.
Yes, sir. What's good, family?
Hey man, I'm doing all right, man. Listen, every time, right? Every time.
Hmm.
I try to start the pod, right? We have a whole plan. We're doing this pre-production. Everything's working. And then something happens, man. Something happen every time I think I'm about to start off and I
Right.
had like I couldn't even hear the intro video, man. Were you able to hear that? I
Yeah,
couldn't even
I
hear the
heard.
intro video when it came on. Like the first time we did it, it went, and then we had to start over because it was weird, right? But hey, listen, this is
Hmm.
why. Hey, if you want to be a podcast intern, you want to make 200 episode, right? I'm lying. You want to make a 100 episode? Hit me up, man. I need an engineer to sit right
Hmm.
here and do this for two and a half
Sir,
hours. But other than that, man, how's your weekend going? How's your week been? It's been a
it's been
wild week. Anything new on your end, brother?
man, just the weather, man. Just trying to stay out right now. I think it might be still negative. Shit, we went down to like next 6, 7. I spent a little extra time with
Oh,
the
you
kids, the homeschool and all that. So I think it was a good thing that we stayed in and kind of got that developed.
you said it's -6.
It was like about 45 minutes ago. It was -6, bro.
Oh wow, I'm over here complaining about like a 13-degree day. Oh
Yes,
wow,
sir.
man, that's wild,
Yeah.
man. Hey, listen, hey, I'm gonna keep y'all in my thoughts and prayers, man. It's a cold world, man, but you really in it, man.
Yeah, we had to think of it. Yeah, I was thinking about. I was looking on my phone on the weather app, and I was just thinking about a couple of friends I was talking to down in Florida, and I got another buddy of mine down in Jamaica. He been telling me to come,
Hmm.
but working it out with the kids is a different thing. But I keep my set sight on that hot, and that cold weather ain't for me. No.
Yeah, I feel you, man. So before we get into everything, man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the week has just been wild, right? We
Mm-hmm.
got we had like all the wild stuff happen in the first week of the presidency, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
think things can get any wilder or any crazier. And then we come into this week, and then we see like Black History Month is essentially on the chopping block for a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I'm somebody that works in that field of equal employment opportunity law, so I saw like a lot of government agencies just not understanding the law, and that like Black History as a celebration as a month is a public law 99 tac 244, right? So you had people that knew that a law existed and that they could do something, but they were scared of the perception, right, of
Mm-hmm.
what it would mean to celebrate something we've been celebrating for the past, I don't know, what, 20, 30, 40 years, essentially, right? But yeah, man, it was the wildest thing. And then the next day, the president comes out and says, yeah, happy Black History Month. But then the Department of Defense says no more diversity celebrations, no more Black History celebration, no more Hispanic Heritage celebration, no more Native American and Indigenous people celebration, right? So the Department of Defense will no longer do any diversity observances or cultural observances for their, soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, guardians, right? Space Force, I don't know what they're called. Something, probably Guardians too. Cadets, I don't know, man, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the president, who's supposed to be anti, whatever, came out and said, "Yes, happy Black History. Here's a bunch of black people that we should be honoring," and that was it, right? Right on the first of the month too. And it's like, dang, man. So now, if I'm somebody in the community, I'm like, yo, the military wants to come into my neighborhood. They want to take all my best and brightest kids from these diverse communities. But when they get into that culture, they get into that workforce, they can't even celebrate who they are with the rest of America because it's now against Uniform Code of Military Justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the military wants to come into your diverse community, get the best people, and then completely erase their identity, right? Even more. That was like the one thing you had in the military, right? They cut your hair, you lose your first name, you go by a last name, you don't get to express yourself in your dress, so you got to wear the same uniform as everybody else. They change your vernacular, so you got to learn a whole new language to speak in, right? The way you say the alphabet and numbers is completely different. The way you talk about directions and things of that nature is completely different, so you learn a whole new language. And then the only thing you had was a celebration of your culture. And now they take that away from you. So the one thing that kept you as an individual is now completely stripped of you if you are to enter military service. And so in the pre-production, I said I might say something that comes off as anti-military. This is that part, right? But as somebody that was a former recruiter, right, that had to go into these diverse populations, if you are an educator, if you are anybody that grants the military access to your kids, you need to stop that immediately, right? Any high school, any college, past this point, if you allow the military to come to your college campus and pick up your kids and not celebrate their culture, and it is now against the regulations to celebrate their culture, right? You are sending those kids to go have a spiritual and a mental death, right? Because the military is already one of the most stressful places, one of the places where they just take away individuality the most. You got some of the highest depression and suicide rates, right? We have some of the least amount of mental health care for our veterans and our active duty service members. And now we're going to take kids from these environments, put them in this other environment where now you can't celebrate your culture. And whoever these, because I've been in the military, I experienced racism, right? And so now there's even less protections for these individuals, right? And you're going to take them out of this environment, put them into in the lion's den, essentially, right? So for me, as someone that was a former recruiter, spent a lot of time in schools, it may sound hypocritical. No, it's just you're learning, right? And so if I want to get your best and brightest, and I want to have access to your schools, I want to have these relationships where we can, diversify our ranks. That's not even a thing anymore, right? We just want bodies now. So now if I'm going to come into your town and I won't let your people celebrate who they are, you should not allow the military access to your high schools, to your colleges. Get them the fuck out of your towns, right? Get them out of those leases in your towns and your cities. Yo, that right there is systemic racism. All right. So when we talk about these structures that get put into place, that is an example of systemic racism, because it's not about what you're allowing somebody to do. It's also what you're not allowing somebody to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can celebrate your culture in every other military. Shit ain't illegal. You can celebrate your culture in jail.
Yeah.
So now you're telling me that I'm good enough to go fight another country and die, but not good enough to celebrate the prior service military veterans who come from my culture that have also fought for this country. I can't celebrate them, because that's all we do in these cultural heritage months in the military is we talk about previous vets from those cultures who did great things, right? So Black History Month, we talk about like the Harlem Hellfighters, the Tuskegee Airmen. We could talk about Crispus Attucks. We could talk about all these great folks that have done these things during wartime or peacetime that have been revolutionary. Carl Bashir becoming the first black submarine diver in UDT, things like that. It's like you got all of these great things that have happened. The Golden 13, the first submarine officers, right? You got all these great things. We can't even celebrate that stuff to continue to motivate and market to our people. So you want me to give you the best black, the best brown, the best Asian, the best people from, Hispanic communities, but we can't even talk about their heroes during the month when everybody else in America is? That right there is systemic racism, and I talk to people all the time, man, and they don't see it the way I see it, but it's like, well, imagine your job. You couldn't celebrate Black History Month, right? They said, nah, y'all can't do that anymore, and we'll fire you if you do. You would probably unionize, right? You'd probably be on strike. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say, as vets, we should be disgusted about this, because that was some of the biggest marketing employees that they use, was shoving people of color in our faces to get us in and telling us how great it is for folks like us and how we could advance and things like that, only to get in and see that it's different. And then for them to say, okay, you can't celebrate your culture anymore. The reason why they did that is because of systemic racism, because of the military being segregated, because of the systemic denial of jobs to people of color, whether it was in flight. Black people weren't allowed to fly. And then when they did allow us to fly, they got Puerto Ricans to train us. They won't even let the white fly. They won't even let the white pilots train the black people. They said, "Nah, you can go to Puerto Ricans to train y'all. It's close enough." You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem is that they don't want to talk about that anymore, right? And it's all it is. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, what did you learn from it, right? And so the problem is that nothing has been learned, because if you look at the state of affairs in the military now, still not hitting their goals, whether it's retention or recruitment with people from diverse backgrounds. Vets getting out say the same shit, like, yeah, I experienced this, that, and the third there. And then just mental health is going crazy there. So for me, I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. This is not me podcasting. This is not me, putting on for whatever. Deny the military access to your towns. Deny the military access to your schools. They are a taxpayer funded entity. Our tax dollars pay the military salary, right? So if you think it's okay for them to deny people of color and people from different backgrounds to be able to celebrate who they are, which is the last bastion of individuality that they have in the military, right? If you let them in your schools from now on, you a sucker, right? If you let them in your towns from now on, you a sucker, right? Me. So when they have a Veterans Day parade, a Memorial Day parade, I'll be out there, but I'll be out there with a sign saying, "Get the fuck out," right? I'm like the guy in Born on the 4th of July now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. Like, y'all done took my legs out. The last thing I had was my culture. Y'all allowed me to have my culture while I was in the military. And now I don't get to have my culture. So now you don't get to have me. But what you do get to have is the truth, right? And we know the military has been systemically racist since its inception, and it is still that way till this day. And now that's why they're trying to put it back, because people are tired of feeling guilty of hearing about the shit that they did without any actionable plans to give equity to those communities. And that's what it all boils down to, right? And so, I'm going to jump off my soapbox, because that's been, 10 minutes, and I haven't been able to play any music and get us into any good spirits, man. But what I will do, any thoughts on that, man, before I go on anything?
Yeah, bro. I definitely say, like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Because, literally, like, back in the day, it's always been this thing that, us as people is always like, look for, someone else to validate us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's now it's up for us to just look at each other and be like, yo, you the shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? What you got, I support you, because, you know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing but the same play, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you white, I got friends that's white, man. Ain't nothing against them. You know what I'm saying? But if you white and you're against me, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Just as simple as that, because it's the same play y'all been doing. And now y'all getting desperate on a global, international scale. And then y'all need for us to come in and say this shit. Did y'all forget that we built this whole motherfucking thing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We built the whole thing. The whole shit. Everything that y'all selling, from stocks. To this day in Wall Street, bro, you go down into the basements, they got jails we used to hold us at. My ancestors, they brought them up and laid them on the wall. That's the reason why they call it Wall Street. Y'all making billions of dollars, and then we ask for a little ass bit, and we can't even get that, and then y'all sending billions of dollars over here. Y'all don't really give a fuck about us. And then on both sides, no matter if you Democrat or all that other type of shit, don't even
Facts.
Matter. So for me, like, y'all playing the same game, y'all playing against each other, so y'all can play everybody else, and I'm just sick of that shit. So for me, like, I say fuck them all the way. I don't even want none of that shit. Like, I teach my kids year round about, you know what I'm saying, African American history. I just ordered a book called Black Ice, you know what I'm saying, teaching about the NHL. I didn't even realize that we own that shit too. And won't even like the code. I was just sitting here talking about I'm -6. I don't even like the fucking code. We own that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, fuck them, because they trying to do is do the same fucking play. You know what I mean? So I just say we get out the way, we support each other, we look at the God's image of each and every single one of us, and we just step the fuck out of the way and let God handle the rest of them enemies. Because that's exactly what they is.
Absolutely. And I wanna tack on one small piece to that. I have that same attitude, but it is not specific to one ethnic group. I feel that way towards everybody.
Yep.
If you are black and you are not actively trying to rebuild the community, trying to uplift each other, trying to empower us, you are my enemy because you are in the way of progress, right? If you are anybody, black, white, old, young, male, female, human, alien, you could be one of these damn squirrels out here, right? If you are in my way of putting equitable opportunities into the hands of my people, you the ops. I mean, that's it. Like, because really all it is us trying to empower folks, spread information. You know, I teach my daughter Black History 365 the same way you do with yours, same way my parents did with me. And it's like, we don't need others to validate us. Now is the perfect opportunity for us to validate each other, for us to show us that we actually do love us, right? Show us that we care. We don't need to have that from somebody else. And that's the other piece, right? Like, I hated doing those presentations in the military because they were so fake and you really couldn't get into what you wanted to get into because you had to make it palatable for the other people, right? And it's like y'all sitting there, I could be at an 8 and y'all keep me at a 4. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I ain't even like doing it. And so now it's like, all right, cool. Now that means I get to do my thing individually, right? And I get to say what I want to say truly about the military now, right? Because I don't have to have any love for anybody that doesn't have love for me. Just like I said last week, y'all ain't got no love for Dr. Dre in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just like my grandmother said, you know, have mercy. Just have mercy.
Yeah.
Just have a little mercy. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet Lord, please have mercy. Baby Jesus, please save us. I know I used up my 3 favors. Back to sending like a week later. New car, speed racer, copper crib, need acres. Most of all, we all need prayer. Karma coming, beware. I don't know where I'm going, but I hope I'm on the right path. Life will hit you with a light jab. Mike Tyson, strike back. You niggas going out slight sad. Boy, I'm all about my bag. New drip, I grab. I just wanna get my life back. There's no complaining on this side. My nigga shit is not tolerated. Cause some niggas off like an operation. Now my team way more consolidated. Sweet presidential, that's inauguration. Cause we cooking crack like Ronald Reagan. Chip on my shoulder, boy, I'm not for waiting. Divine timing took a lot of patience. Now it's time for the takeover. All gas and the brakes slower. Took a trip out to Tokyo, now I'm here in Paris for the layover. Fuck old niggas, boy, your day's over. You mad at me cause your pay slower. Better nigga, you a shade though. I was just sleeping on a sofa. Now I ride with a paid chauffeur cause I'm way doper, better stay sober. I paint pictures, you a Crayola. Got a bad bitch and she laid over. She really asked cause she stayed over. I told her that we need to face closure. The smell of money has a great odor. These are things that I prayed over. Sweet Lord, please have mercy. Baby Jesus, please save us. I know I used up my 3 favors. Back to sending like a week later. New car, speed racer, copper crib, need acres. Most of all, we all need prayer. Karma coming, beware. I don't know where I'm going, but I hope I'm on the right path. Life will hit you with a light jab. Mike Tyson, strike back. You niggas going out slight sad. Boy, I'm all about my bag.
Flexing on these niggas, every bone muscle. Steady taking shots, never hurting them. Even then, y'all don't worry nothing. And I like to give a shout out to my niggas with the game plan. And shout outs on my niggas with escape plans. 20 bands, rain dance. We can either rain check or we can make plans. Pockets loaded, rocket loaded, okay, let's rock and roll this. Time to go, lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels locked and loaded. Diamonds glowing, chop climbing on them. You think I'm jumping out the window, how I got them open. Line around the corner, line them up the block and over. Sometimes I even stop the smoking when it's time to focus. My shade, Dior, my pants, velour. Create, explore, expand, concord.
I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. Yeah, I sold the pack, the loose, the hard. Yeah, I listen to X, I beat the bars. Yeah, snakes, the rats, the cats, the dogs, the games, a trap, protect your heart. Yeah, I waited in line, return, refine the new design. It's time to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine. I hustle, I flex, the world is mine. So lost, I came, I saw, I came, I saw, I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw, I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. She came, I came, I what?
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry 'em. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the pad. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm geeking now. I'm so pretty. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. I'm gonna get it. Watch me move. This is selling. That's a tool. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that. Ooh, get it. Get it. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Contraband. I got the plug on who a hawker. Whoa. They gonna find you like Baka. Blah.
America. I just checked my following list and
flossing in clubs and fine linen, hopping in them ill whips with chrome spinning. Malice was true to the game for 9 innings. We love sinning, but now I answer for that. Apologize to my fam, I got y'all dressing in black. A long line family and friends, they signing in. My niece singing solo organs and violins. Wife in her black veil, hands flooded with diamonds. Remaining calm under each arms, my children. Daddy's in a better place, entering golden doors. With ivory, all white pillars and marble floors. Brand new physical frame with no flaws. On my throne, ass guarded by angels with 4 fours. Terror retaliate, show 'em how really be. The split second before you blaze, they probably thought you was me. Returning on some pro shit, let 'em know shit. And mess with the wrong click, quick to blow shit. Y'all know who owned this, so they in my career. But still I put my tag on this earth, Malice was here.
Take a walk on my side, no more tears, no more fears, no one telling me lies. I only want cheers and heartfelt goodbyes. My left march is here, tell me who's gonna ride. Take a walk on my side, no more tears, no more fears, no one telling me lies. I only want cheers and heartfelt goodbyes. My left march is here, tell me who's gonna ride. Hold me high, Gucci suit and tie. Let my casket reach the sky, tell my girl don't cry. Just sing me a lullaby and let the white doves fly. Cause I heard from a bird, it's only sleep when you die. Raise me in unison, outsiders watch through the lens. My mother cried cause she knew that I was only true to sin. Celebrate my passing with gunshots and systems blasting. Blown up posters of terror held by children laughing. No matter how foul, my burial, open casket style. Simply so they can see my clusters and my diamond smile. Sorry I feel, only cause the ones I left were so real. For me, my dogs will lie, die, shoot, cry, or kill. First from my list, sorry that I left you half in a hole. But now you're right for both of us. I channel thoughts through your soul. Emmanuel, remember this, when you see my nemesis. Drop my picture on his chest and make his family reminisce. Revenge so sweet, and I trust you with the heat. You're the first one I call when it's time to put him to sleep. Now Pharrell, Grand Dragon, horn, stab in the skies. Turn Magnum, laser tag him, couldn't sever our ties. My final request quest. On the day I'm laid to rest, take my body to the ocean and have a waterfront fest. This will be my burial. The eulogy will be in stereo. Blue angels will draw my face to smoke during an aerial.
Let me hear you. Nobody knows. No, no, no. Nobody knows. No, no. Glory, glory, glory. Say it again. Say it to the Lord. I've been viewed and I've been scorned. I've been talked about, yes I have. Just as sure as you're born. This is a mean world to try to live in, but you've got to stay here until you die. Without a mother, no. Don't even have a father.
Lyrically acclaimed. I like this young man because when he came out with the phrase, he went from ashy to classy. All right. I like that. All right. So everybody in the house.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What up?
Hey now. Hey now. I had to get myself in a better mood, man. I had to get myself in a better mood. I had to cut it out before that
Going
Biggie
on?
came on, man. I get that content strike.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Got you.
I had to I had to go on a little run, man. Go on a little run, play a little music, man. I had to end up with a little Pastor T.L. Barrett, man. That Nobody Knows.
Mhm.
Quavo
Yeah.
and T.I. sampled that for this song Us vs. Them on that album, man. That was a dope little project they did, man. Shout out to them. But yeah, man. Yo, so the main song we're gonna go into is gonna be Big K.R.I.T.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Big K.R.I.T. King Remembered in Time, right? So the song Missed Messages. It's a thought-provoking track where K.R.I.T. wrestles with the contradictions in his own thoughts, actions, and emotions. And so that's something that we can literally all relate to. So we have a situation where he openly questioning the tension between right and wrong, between humility and pride, indulgence and discipline. I find myself in that same situation nearly every day. And so it's a song that forces us to reflect on our own inconsistencies and ask, how do we navigate the contradictions within ourselves? And so today we'll explore the themes of internal conflict, integrity, and spiritual growth, and also dive into some scripture, a little bit of mental health strategies, and some practical tools for aligning our actions and our values. And so that is perfectly in line with this whole, Black history, just just this Black History bonanza that's going on right now, right? You got folks don't know if they can celebrate it, don't know if they can. Well, I mean, I'm Black every day. I celebrate myself every day. I celebrate my history every day. One of the things that people should really understand that we have a lot of history. There's a lot to celebrate. You don't have to just wait till February. And so if folks had that attitude, hey, maybe we wouldn't need to have the month like that, right? But what is it that we're celebrating, right? And so that's something I think about myself. Let me go ahead and put the yeah, there we go. That's something I think about myself, right? Like, what are we celebrating? What parts of our culture do we celebrate? Oftentimes it's the negative, right? So, damn, there's that paradox. The positive things about the culture, we really don't celebrate. We really don't put on that pedestal. The negative things and the people that kind of portray those negative elements, they find the most success. Damn, mixed messages. You know what I'm saying? So it's like coming up in high school. You want your kid to be smart, but you also don't want to be a nerd. Mixed messages. Right? Like when your kid's on the football team, you give him all the praise in the world, but if he's on the chess team, you're not at the games, you know, mixed messages, so it's like you got a daughter and you want her to be independent, but you never teach her how to work with a man. Mixed messages. And that's what I've been thinking about for a lot, man. And then it's like you got a lot of people, myself included, where I'm very proud about my culture, and I don't need that external validation. And that's something you touched on earlier. So it shouldn't matter to me if someone else says we're not going to celebrate your culture. It shouldn't matter. It should give me the ability to do it even more because they're not doing it. So I get to take their audience. That's exactly how I look at it, right? But it's like, yo, fam, you've been using this as a marketing tool for 79,000 years, and now you're not going to do it because it makes your feelings hurt. Now you're kind of pissing me off, right? Mixed messages. So it shouldn't really offend me, but it does because that's been the whole marketing ploy. And so, there's a lot that, I think about, when this song comes on. I mean, even when it comes into, relationships and dating, it's like, yeah, you want the baddie with the fatty, right? But it's like, hey, her attitude's probably bad too. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you go get the practical one? That reads books. You know what I'm saying? That's not into astrology or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, mixed messages, man. Like, fam, like I'll talk to the fellas. Like, yeah, I'm gonna try to go meet a young lady, and I'll go to the club or to the bar or something like that. It's like, man, if you don't go to like the poetry circle or something like that, you know what I mean, to the volunteer event, and so I'm someone that falls into that as well, man. And so before I jump into the song, I want to get your thoughts on that. Just mixed messages in your soul.
Man, bro, that's good, bro. Because when you sent me the song, it really it because Big K.R.I.T, I know the name, but it was once you had introduced me to him, so I was like, yo, I gotta look at this dude, a little bit more. You sent over a couple songs, and immediately I knew that it was very, very deep. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever place he was at, because right in the beginning of the song, man, he just said, "I'm sorry." I was like, whoa, like, so that right there. And then he went on, into the song where he just really just kind of described himself. So I'm just like, yo, what is he sorry about? You know what I mean? So immediately for me, it started touching on discernment. You know what I'm saying? And, in Proverbs 18:15, it talks about that. You know what I mean? The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. And, which falls into that deeper understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it was for me, bro. It was just about discernment. That's what stood out about the mixed messages. Because no matter what, man, when you're in the truth exposes the lies and everything else. You know what I mean? You never really have to, look for a lie. It'll be discerned in your spirit. So that really, I think discernment, once I'm saying that again, that's the one thing that stands out about, this mixed messages thing. And actually, it's a blueprint, and a map for how, we can actually, find our way, ourselves back to, back to God, and find ourselves back to, our people. You know what I mean? So we should be able to see and discern that understanding, whether it's through empathy and sympathy on where they're actually at, so we can, help them out of that. Granted, they're looking for that help.
Yeah, that's deep, man. And to me, it's like music is so important, man, because there's so many messages that could be in a song, right? Like you're sitting there and you're trying to come up with something fly to fit in the 16 bars, and you're like, shit, I got to do this 3 times, right? In the standard song, I got to have 3 verses, right? I got to have a hook too. Damn, but I got to have something to say in these 16 bars, and it can't go over people's heads, but it has to be something that'll make them think. And I want to put like my soul into it, but I don't want to be too vulnerable, right? I want to show strength, but then I want to be able to show sincerity as well, and show that I'm not perfect, right? And you write this, and you're writing this, right? And you're like, all right, you only got 16 bars, and then 16 bars, and then 16 bars, right? And then that's it. And you got to put all of this experience of contradictions and life and loss and just vulnerability. And it's like, damn, man, like, as somebody that does that, like, in my head, right? In my head, I'm the greatest rapper ever, right? There is nobody that raps better than me. However, anytime I listen to any other rapper, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's way better than me, right? I'm like, yo, I'm like, cause I don't think about my stuff afterwards like I think about other artists' work, right? And that's one of the best things that I love about music, right? Is like, I'm a writer, but I love breaking down other people's lyrics, right? I love writing about other people's stories in the stories, right? And something like this, we're 2 grown men from 2 different parts of the world, separate experiences from K.R.I.T, and you can find so many commonalities, and then there's just so many areas of exploration. It's like, damn, man, it's like something I didn't think of, or you heard this song and then thought about this, and it's like, oh shit, now I got to go back and look at this, and I didn't look at it like this because I didn't have that experience, but damn, if I listen to this, it told me to listen out for that, and damn, shit, like, it's like a cycle, and it's like, if you just stay in tune, not only with your friends, your family, yourself, that's how you can kind of have better discernment when it comes to those mixed messages. It's like when we're ETs and whatnot, and we're trying to discern a frequency or something like that. It's like we're just tuning in, discerning that modulation and whatnot, and that's all. It's like we're just learning how to be better in tune with ourselves and with our people, because we're always like, these mixed messages are like a choice. It's like a test, and it's like, I've had situations where it's like, you want a serious relationship, and bam, you could get it, but it's mad work. Yo. And it's like, you just said you wanted that, bro. And it's like, well, is that what you want? Or, is it the work that you want, right? Or is it that end result? And it's like, figure that part out. And then, then you make that choice. It's a lot easier because you know what you actually want. But yeah, man, it's like, there's so many different ways to just listen and learn from music. And I think with any artist that really puts themselves into the work, you always have that ability. But my daughter's popping in here. What's up, sweetheart?
TV's finished.
Okay, you can put something else on there.
Spidey.
All right, go ahead, man. Yeah, little 4-year-old daughter, man. She's the best, man. Mixed messages, dog. I want to be like a husband and a father and whatnot, but had to get out of wedlock. mixed messages. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. We talk about the real shit on this podcast, and real life happens. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like, to get back to my point, right? I think I'm the best rapper ever, right? But I know there's nobody out there breaking down one of my songs like, yo. And that's just that to me, that's just like the beauty of music, man. Is like, I get so into that shit. Is like, I'll sit and listen to music, and the same way I think about a movie, like in a director, is like, what was he thinking about when he made this film, right? What was he thinking about when he framed this shot? That's the thing about with an artist, is like, all right, when they got this 16 and they had this and they were talking with the producer, and the producer was saying, make this shit more catchy, like, what were they thinking to get them to say, nah, I'm just going to do this? And like, what were they getting the label to do? You know, things like that. And so, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And did I lose you for a bit, or did you drop off? Oh, okay. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now, hold on. Okay, yeah, mute that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cue that crit up, and then we'll listen to the record, and then we will get into the conversation. And so we'll discuss internal conflict, integrity, and spiritual growth, and we'll also dive into some scripture. All right. And so once again, you know, I'm not, you know, Bible Brian. I got to do my research, right? I have to actually like look stuff up, right? So this is work. So it's learning for me. Because it's like, damn, man, like, hey, like if somebody could do this on a larger platform with a little bit of money, they could have a pretty big church. Like, where's Mace at, man? Why isn't Mace doing this? Mace could just take his verses and do the same stuff, man.
Real talk.
And have like a super huge mega church and have men back in the church. I would go, because Mace is a dope rapper, and Mace had like plenty of bars that had a lot of God talk in them, man. So let me go ahead and throw the joint on, man.
Sorry. I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary, although I'm free. I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary, although I'm free. I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. So I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of, I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages. I'm too scared to leave. Yeah. I love her and I hate her at the same time. I'm whack and I'm dope in the same rhyme. I'm dull but I'm gloss in the same shine. It's confusing on a sunny day. I never really liked all the fake shit, but I'm attracted to the fake ass and fake tits. That's why I made a song like Original, to remind me of what fake is. I wanna be rich, but I'm giving back. I love her like none other, but don't get attached. Screaming peace over beats, but I grab the strap. I help you make a meal, but I got a cap. It's still fuck you, but I give you dap. I really wanna sing, but I better rap. God on my line after all, but I ain't pick up when he called. Matter of fact, I ain't pick up at all, cause my bills paid now. I said my grace now, my lights is still on, so why would I pray now? Home is the best place for me, so why would I stay now? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, but I never could lay down. I only got a gun to protect myself. The AK make a nigga shake down. I love social networks for music,
Or the negativity will make you break down. Like, damn. Mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary. Although I'm free, I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary. Although I'm free, I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that is Big K.R.I.T with Mixed Messages on your FM dial. Listen, man, I could do that, man. I could do that. I grew up on Wendy Williams, man.
Nah,
I
you
could
can do that.
So
You can do that. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
If there's any future for sure, yeah, you can do that.
I can't wait till I get a freaking intern, man. I try to get my little cousins to do this, man. Like and this is mixed messages, right? They'll sit here and tell me,
Wow.
"Oh, Unc, man, put me up on this, put me up on that. Show me how to do this." I'm like, "Hey, I got a whole extra room. I got this, I
Yeah.
got that. I got a queen size joint for you. Yeah, I don't even drive nowhere. You can take my car. All you got to come down here is learn how to do this. I teach you how to run a nonprofit. I teach you all this AI stuff. I teach you all this networking stuff. I'll put you on in DC. Just come down whenever you want." Mugs will literally come down to DC. "Unc, I'm in town. All right, come through. I'm here. Yeah.
Nothing.
Crickets. You know what I'm saying? So they'll hit me up like, "Hey, I'm going to come through. They'll be in town." Yep. I'm like, "Yo, listen, whenever I'm here, boom." And then it's crickets. So I know y'all hearing this. I'm talking to you directly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give me
Call 'em
some
Big
mixed
K.R.I.T.
messages. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and send this to them directly. Like, "Hey, listen, I was thinking about you."
Send you some big crit for them crickets you got going on.
Exactly. And that goes into the first part, right? The struggle of contradiction. And so one of the
man.
most powerful aspects of mixed messages is how K.R.I.T acknowledges his own contradictions. And so lines like, "I tell you to follow your dreams, but I don't think that it is true," highlight the internal conflicts we all experience. And so some of the things that I think about is often struggling with internal contradictions in our beliefs and our actions and self-awareness. How does that help me recognize and address these conflicts? And then just thinking about, okay, if I'm trying to get, more into the Bible, I'm trying to, learn more. So, okay, let me go ahead and do some research, right? So I get into Romans 7:15. And so, "For I do not understand my own actions, for I do not what I want, but I do the very thing that I hate." And I'm like, damn,
Oh man.
shit. I'm like, fam, yeah, that's
Man.
okay. Let me tell you, that's me this weekend, bro. I probably got the evidence right in the trash can over there. So I'm getting back into shape. I'm working out. I'm trying to be more disciplined. And I'm like, yo, I can't have sweets in the house because I will eat them all. I have no discipline, right? And so I'm like, nah, I'm better now. No, I have an addiction, bro. I have an addiction to sweets. That's why I don't have it in the house. So I bought a box of Nutty Buddies on Friday. The box was finished yesterday at midnight. And so it's like 6 of them. It's like 6 of them, bro. And so, but I'm sitting there calculating like, okay, I got to work out this much this week, work out this, bye-bye. I'm sitting there just like making up excuses instead of just having discipline to tell myself no. You know what I mean? And I bought this shit into my house. I was doing so well. You know what I'm saying? And then, I looked in the mirror, saw the 6-pack. I was like, yeah, I go ahead and have 6 Nutty Buddies in a 48-hour period. Yo, but I mean, even then, But I mean that's the same thing. That's no different than me
Where?
like, yo, than me like, all right, well, you know, that's like, yo, that's all right. So out here in DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dating scenarios, dating situation is wild, bro. And so it's like I go on dates that I want to go on. I go to have fun, right? But
Mm-hmm.
and I know I can, I know I can afford a certain type of lifestyle, right? But at
Mm-hmm.
any time, if somebody I'm talking to talks anything about finances, I dub them just like that, right? I don't give a fuck what it is. Like you ask me what my rent is or something like that, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You ask me what my car note is, it's a wrap. You ask me like how much the bill is, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like what the that's just you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it's
What does that
like
say to you?
I don't know. Should I be extending that person grace? Probably, but fuck them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I've been getting so many mixed messages, right? Because if a person tells me that that's not something that they're concerned with, or like you know the whole shit. I ain't really trying to get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like when they start talking about that, it's like, well, that hits me. Boom, that's a mixed message. That would be no different than me saying like, I'm not one of those guys that's like trying to smash or whatever, but I go out on a date and I'm trying to liquor you up and I'm trying to take you to a nightclub and then it's like, oh, go to your house. I'm trying to get invited up for the nightcap. That whole shit we used to do, right? I used to do that shit. That's why I know the whole routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got a whole lot of mixed messages. And so that's what I'm saying, right? And so it's like, fam, it's like, yo, you can't do that anymore, right? And so it's like, all right, well, fuck, now, then you meet somebody that's like, oh, well, I've been celibate for 5 years. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And she like, I'm gonna be celibate till marriage. What the fuck? And you tell yourself, oh yeah, that's cool. Is it though?
Mixed message.
Is it though? Exactly, right? So I got yo, like I'm not the only person that feels this way, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be one of the first people to say, "Hey, this is some real talk right here, man. This is some real ish that we deal with." And hey, man, it's okay. It's okay. Talk to somebody about it. You'll be surprised. You're not the only one, dog.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like, I I'll be pulling up. This is how much of a dirtbag, right? I'll be pulling up at like at a stop sign, and I'll be like by a bus stop. And in my 20s, right? That was my move. Pull up at the bus stop. You see a little shorty there. He's like, yo, listen, you know what I mean? Got the Beamer, you know what I mean? Got the heated seats, you know what I mean?
Legit.
Play all the reggaeton you want.
Mm-hmm.
That was my move. That was my move in Providence, Rhode Island. And so
Damn.
you older now, right? And you can't do that. You can't do that, right? But then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, fam. Even like you out here in DC, you see like Miss Wall Street, Miss Professional walking down the street, right? And she in a business suit. You could pull that move off, but what kind of message does that send to her? Who do you think she is to just get pulled up on by some random? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but I tell you, you never know though, because sometimes like that can tap into. Because man, I literally with all this, this quote unquote advancement we talking about with technology and all that, I really don't think it is, man. Like when you look at, the dating apps and everything else, it's catered to a certain percentage of guys, and it's really
mhm.
it just messed up how we interact, man. So I literally going back to the stopping at the bus stop. I thought about just, like, start writing letters like, yo, will you go out with me? Yes or
Okay.
no, or maybe like literally
That
just
that
to,
works.
like,
I still do that.
yeah,
That works.
bruh.
Keep
Yeah,
bring it
bruh.
back. Yeah, they
Yeah,
like that.
just
Yeah,
a
so
little
doing
bit.
that works. That works. About to cue up that LL.
Mhm. I just was
So I
look,
need
look,
I need a
literally,
roundaway girl pulling over the bus
yo,
stop,
I
sucking on
swear,
the
I was just,
lollipop.
I didn't even say that song, but I was literally thinking that when I said, yo, I was like, yo, that LL, oh man,
Let me tell you,
legit.
maybe in New Jersey I would do that, right? In
Yeah,
DC,
yeah,
no, that you would get lined up in DC. Let me tell you right now, you
yeah.
pull up on the bus
What,
stop,
what?
somebody, let me call my cousins and then whoop, man,
Yeah,
they'll pull me out of that damn
yeah.
car.
Yeah, I mean, you figure Jersey, the DMV area. I mean,
Yeah.
that bag is crazy down there. Like, you know what I mean? Like DC is always, before Atlanta started coming really into that scope. Like,
So
DC has been a mecca for us, bro.
So I did that in Hawaii and San Diego. So I did do that in Hawaii and San Diego because you're right on the beach, right? You're on the
Yeah,
strip.
yeah.
So like in San Diego, you out there in like Point Loma or whatever. You got Pacific Beach. You down there, boom. Pull up on something. And then Hawaii, the same thing. But
Mm.
I'm doing that, and here's where it goes back to mixed messages, right? I'm not approaching the woman that looks like she's worth the effort. I'm approaching the woman that looks like she's going to be the good time in the moment,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And so it's like, I'm better than that, right? Am I better than that? That's the question I got to ask myself. Was I better than that? I don't know. Did I know that I would not meet that, young lady standard? So I'm like, oh, I see her out there. Let me go ahead and avoid, you know what I'm saying, Michelle Obama. Let me go ahead and get with Sexy Red, bro.
Man, it ain't easy.
I've done that.
Michelle Obama's though, man. Like I literally found myself challenging myself recently. What was I watching? I was watching like one of them little pop the balloon joints. And I see a lot of ratchetness.
I love that
I see
show,
some
bro.
bad ones too, bro. And I'm like, literally, man, I seen this one chick that I probably would never even think about approaching and all that. But you know what got me, bro? Was her mindset. Her mindset was on point. And she was like about it. On a scale now, God, everybody's beautiful in God's eyes, right? But to me, like she was like a 5 or 6. But her mindset took her to an 8. I said, if I ever seen her, oh, it's on, bro. It's on. Like she was just ready up here.
Yeah. It's funny you brought that show up, right? That's a perfect example of mixed messages because
bro.
we'll get on there, right? And we'll say whatever the fuck, right? And oh my God, perfect example. There was an episode of this woman was like one of these full-figured, dark-skinned, super, super dark-skinned, like beautiful skin, like looked like water. Like you could her skin looked like liquid. Like you could like super black, dark skin, and it looked like the skin commercial where you would touch it and the shit would like the Terminator liquid. You know what I'm saying? Like you touch it and it's just like a mirror, like a black mirror, bro. Like you would look at her and see your reflection in her skin. That's how like dark and like perfect her skin was, right? She comes out, and as soon as she speaks, her voice sounds like Jadakiss, bro. And everybody pops. Everybody pops.
I know exactly.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But then soon as she started talking, I was like, damn, they fucked up.
Oh,
they fucked up.
I know what you're talking about.
She was a keeper. Like her voice was she sounded exactly like Marge Simpson's sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like Stelma and Thelma, bro. And once she started talking, and like after that first like initial, it was like, you remember when you were a kid and you had to go on the internet and it sounded like, that's what her voice sounded like for the first 5 minutes. And then it was the internet, and I had access to all that information. So once I got past her voice and I started hearing what she was saying, I was like, damn, she cool as shit. I was like,
real talk.
Her voice ain't really that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I like what she's saying and everything. I'm like, her body was on point. Like skin was like everything was right. Her voice was the only thing, and everybody popped, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we heard the voice and that," and then they felt like shit. And then like all the other women that came out there was just like garbage compared to her. And I'm like, damn, man, like, and you'll see that over and over and over on that show where they'd be like those premature pops or something like that, or like some dumb shit, and it's like, yo, fam, you said you was out there for whatever. At least you could hear this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, it's mixed messages, man. It's mixed messages, bro. Yeah, and I see that, and I've done that. I've done that. Yeah, we dudes, women, and it's like, damn, man. Like, I hope we can see that and learn from it. Like, we're talking about it now, and I'm glad we're having it. The conversation is not like the negative, ish. It's like, yo, look at, hey, look at what you can learn from this, man. Because I like my boy Jonathan Bagley put me up on that show, and I'm like, yo, at first I was like, I don't really, mess with it, and I'm sitting there just like, let me get past the BS and let me listen to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what she's doing. She's putting hey, you said this what you wanted. I'm gonna put it right in front of you, right? Mixed messages. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I respect that. I respect that, you know. So yeah, that's like one of my little guilty pleasures right there, man. That damn Pop the Balloon
Yeah.
show, because that shows the best and the worst. I seen some good connections, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I seen some really good people on both sides, and it's like, yo, like if someone sees this, they'll
Yeah.
find them, because like there would be a
100%.
person that,
100%.
and that
Yeah.
was a platform for them to show what type of person they were. And it's like, they'll
Yeah.
definitely find somebody after that, man. But I'm glad you brought
I
that
love
up.
it.
That
No, I
show,
love it.
more people should watch that shit.
Nah, bro, and I love it. Like I'm not even like I do it for for certain things, like because with me, I'm going into my kids a little bit, but with me schooling them and all that type of thing, they get to see me through ups, downs, and all the different seasons. So I teach them through that. I teach them about relationships, and the beautiful thing about the Pop the Balloon is that like any type of facade that you can actually have behind when it comes to like social media, you can't no more. Like it's really
Hmm.
out there right in front of you to where like you got to actually deal with it. So actually, even if you're if you feel like you sound stupid, you might be, you might not be. Or if you feel like you're smart, you might not be, but it's all objective. So it literally, for the men, it puts you right out there directly out in front of people. And for the women, it's the same thing. So for me, the other part of it is that, I live up here, man. My woman ain't up here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very specific on what I'm looking for and everything else you see here. So what that allows me to, like with, the media, YouTube, so all that type of thing, it's like the street, so I get to observe the relationship and see what's actually out there without actually seeing it, firsthand. And I'm actually dealing with, going back to that mixed messages, like, there's certain things that'll trigger me about a dude, just being a weirdo. And then, a female might be, on some like, I don't like your shoestrings and all that type of shit, and pass up every single dude. But literally it's a microcosm of our culture right now on a larger scale. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there thinking like, damn. So for me, man, I just sit in the cut and I say, oh, wow, okay, I got to work on that. Or like, okay, this is how dudes is, this is how females is. But there's usually that one that'll stand out. And I say, all right, instead of me having all these mixed thoughts and messages about anything, I just key in on that one. Like, what did I actually like about that person? Because that's
Hmm.
the particular thing about myself that I actually like about me is what I see in her. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I got to work on this to get there. So that's the mental health part of it, too, that I think that we talked about is like, oh shit, like I gotta stop being so vain and looking at like the baddie with the tight shit, with the little ass going on.
Absolutely.
Like
Hmm.
I got to stop doing that shit. And so for me, like literally, bro, like I'm gonna add one more gem to this, love, bro. Like I haven't quite done it yet, but literally what I was gonna do is listen to a Pop the Balloon, bro, with a blindfold on, and literally just try to discern where, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're gonna
Literally,
do that blindfold, that's crazy. That's like expert
not.
level.
Yeah. I literally, I'm just gonna turn on the YouTube and just listen, and then just listen to the voice inflection, all that different type of thing, and then take it off at the end of it, and then go back and be like, okay, so what did I like, and then go with that. You know what I mean? So that's when I started digging into the sermon, being like, all right, bro, when you cut off the visual, what is it like? Just like the spiritual mask, when you cut off the physical part, what do you see in the spirit? And I think that it's usually something that really ain't worth holding on to. So just let go.
Hmm. And that's, hey man, that's why I say, man, I'm like Jason Kidd right now, like Sean Marion, just yamming it down, man. That's why you don't need a script, because that takes us into our next topic, right, which is integrity
Legit.
versus hypocrisy. And so a
Wow.
key theme in mixed messages is the challenge of living with integrity. And so Crit questions whether he's being real with himself or just projecting an image. And shit, that's something that you gotta deal with being in the fuck military. And so what does it mean to live with integrity in a world that often rewards contradiction? And how do we resist the temptation to say one thing and do another? And just how has faith served as an anchor for us in maintaining some kind of authenticity? And so for me, what I had to do is, I'm researching. I found James 1:8, and it said, a double-minded man is unstable in all ways. And I'm like, shit, damn.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
listen,
bro.
I'm like, I don't know who was writing back then, man, but hey, Drake should have hired that motherfucker. You know?
Legit.
And it's like, because Crit is in the song, and he's like, do I talk about change or do I really do it? And so how do we turn self-awareness into action? And so how do we maintain integrity when faced with external pressure? How can faith and accountability help us stay true to our values? And so one of the things I think about, like, especially being in the military, right? It's like, how do you maintain integrity to yourself, right? To your community, to your people, to your culture. And that was always like a struggle for me because like you could be black, but you couldn't be too black because that means you weren't going to get promoted, right? And that's essentially a choice you have to make when you make chief, right? Essentially, when you make chief, especially when you make it like as quick as I did, you gotta make a choice, right? You're gonna be about the people, or you're gonna be about the power structure. You know, you're gonna be about the settlers, or you're gonna be about the system. And so for me, you know, it was like, all right, well, I know this isn't for me. So no matter how high I get, I would never be happy or content. So I'm happy right here being amongst the people I can actually help and interact with. So I'll just stay committed to the sailors. And then doing that, that caps you at that, you know, military pay grade. But you get to have a pretty, you know, good career and have a bunch of great connections. And I'm in the position I am now because of all that stuff. And it's like, I see people that kind of made that other choice and they don't have that, and they don't have those support systems, and they don't have those people they can reach out to. And it's like, that's it, man. Like you got like that shit matters, man. Cause like people remember, they remember who you were when you had that power and when you had that choice, whether to help or to harm them. And they remember. And it's like, when they get in that situation, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, they remind you, right? They remind you. And I've been in situations where I didn't know that somebody had that power over me. And it was somebody I had the power over, and I could have harmed them. I could have helped them out. And I helped them out not because I knew them. It was the right thing to do. It was just like, well, this is the right thing to do, right? And it came out some way down the line, like some job shit. It was like I found out about this, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even know like they even knew about that. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know them at all. Like I didn't know them or have a relation with them. I just made a call based on what I observed, and it was like, there's no reason to fuck them over, right? Like we often do in the military. So why not give them the second chance that I got 70 south? Like I've gotten 70 million second chances, right? So it's like, all right, well, why not give them that second chance that I've gotten before? And then, you know, they had a great career, blah, 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 blah. I've never seen them again, you know, and then I saw them again. And they remember when I had that power and I had that choice, you know, to be the person that I said I would be. Because I was always that guy that was like, yo, I'll look out for y'all and I'll try to always put myself in your shoes. And when I had that situation and I tried to keep it real, I got this. And so I try to not do that. And when I had that authority, I was a person of my word. And then, you know, and that helps you out in that. But I'll tell you right now, that shit did not help me out professionally. So if you are out here and you are in your career and you want to go far, do not listen to what I'm saying. Play the game. Hey, listen, whatever game they're playing, learn the rules and play that because I'm doing that right now. I am not going to sit here and lie and say I'm not playing. I am playing. I am a company man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a company man. I am a company man. You know, because my company is conservation. That's why. My company is conservation, right? But like, listen, if you listen to me, play the rules of the game of whatever system you are in to get the outcomes that you want, right? The outcomes that I wanted as a 28-year-old person was to be able to have people get there faster than I did with less friction. And that made the last 10 years fun because that shit was hard as hell. But I had some great people that I was around, and I'm still connected with them now, and thank God, because I would not survive the pandemic without them, you know. And that's why I go back to a double-minded man is unstable in all ways. I was able to stay stable, right, because I had a good support system. And your support system can remind you of who you are when you have questions, right? And when I retired, that's when I had the most questions about myself because, you know, your military career is over. You did all this great shit. It's a pandemic, so everybody's reset. You're in college, so you're a brand new whatever, and you're bottom of the barrel because you still suck at calculus. You're about to be a new father, and you got to figure out this relationship with, that whole just scenario, right? And you got to move from Hawaii to DC, and so it's like, damn, if I didn't know who I was, or if I didn't have a support system to remind me who I was, I would have not had the strength to go do what I did. I would have just stayed in Hawaii. But I'm like, I had people around me at all times to when I questioned my strength, they said, nah, you can do that because you've done this and you've done this and you've done this. And I'm like, damn, I forgot I did all that, you know? Damn, like shit. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all motherfuckers are all right. You're y'all really coming through right now, friends. And it was in everything, whether it was parenthood, starting a new career, like bucking the system, like fucking helping with a protest in my town, Asbury Park, like all type of stuff. There were always people that were like, nah, you can do it because you did this, and shit, that's just what you do. And I'm like, all right, hey, I trust y'all. You think I could be a good dad and work it out with the mom? Hey, shit, I okay. If you think so, hey, when shit get hard, you the first person I'm calling. Best believe, but they were right, and so that's the beauty of having friends. But when you're a person of integrity, you can keep those people around you. And so just your thoughts on that, just maintaining integrity in a world that rewards contradiction and resisting that temptation to say one thing and do another.
Man, that's a good question, bro. I think that, it touches on the important part of just relationships. You know what I mean? Like, because no matter what, like, the beautiful thing about integrity, and, I just real quick before I go into this, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he revealed something to me. I literally called him up so I can give him some knowledge and some education, understanding, and wisdom on some things. And he talked about, man, I told him how, like, man, like, this particular area I want to get better in, this and that. He was just like, man, like, authenticity. You just got to be 100% authentic, you know what I'm saying, which ties into integrity. So the beautiful thing, going back a little bit to the relationships, authenticity, and integrity, is that relationships always reveal where you're truly at, regardless if, you actually want to believe that or not, what I mean? Because the relationships are based on what you actually invested into it. So if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, no matter what, it always has return, which is an ROI on your investment. And, real quick, I just want to touch on it because, like I said, I homeschool my kids, and my son is at a different level. He's super interested in stocks and everything else. So we set him up an account. My daughter is still kind of getting there. She's not the biggest with numbers. But one of the things I was talking about with my daughter is, okay, so, what are, short-term capital gains? What are long-term capital gains? And we kind of went into that. And the biggest thing, with a short-term capital gain, it's like anything sold within a year. Long-term is after a year. And one of the things that came out of that is that even in that relationship where she's teaching me because she's taking a note, she's doing the work, and then I'm actually teaching her, there was a return on an investment that was immediate, what I mean? But it was relational. And what it was just that, when you lack, authenticity and integrity and those type of things, it's a short-term gain, but the fallback of a short-term gain is the high taxes. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but boy, you had, a minimum 20% up to 30%. That is a freaking whack. Like a quarter for every dollar, but for the long term, just like relationships, if you can tie that into relationships, we talked about compound interest and the power of that. It's the same thing with relationships, love, integrity. If you can actually invest in authenticity, integrity, bro, like the return is just what you said, to a friend of yours that came back to you, like, oh man, you know what? I remember this, and something you completely forgot about. It's because you were consistent in that integrity, in that authenticity, and the return that you got was something that you wasn't even looking for. You know what I mean? So, and then the other part too that I want to touch on is that one of the things that I say to both of my kids is that, when you have stocks, you have this thing called, dividends, which you can get quarterly or monthly or whatever it is. And one of the things that I say to them, just like, hey, you can either take that money out, or what you can do, there's a system called DRIP, dividend reinvestment program. And I say to my son and my daughter, say, hey, look, take that interest and put it back into it. It's the same thing as a relationship. Put it right back into the company and let that investment grow. And when that compound interest hit, which is like bro, it's mind blowing, especially when you can see it in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see it in your child. We just saw your daughter come in, my young niece come in, 4 years old, bro, at 24. Like, oh my God. And she looks back on this video and sees herself. It's gonna, like, just the interest compounded on the consistency and the authenticity and integrity over time will pay dividends with her husband, will pay dividends with her relationship with her mom, will pay dividends with her family. All the things that you're teaching her, bro, like, it will pay dividends that you can't even calculate. It's unbelievable, bro. That's why I love authenticity and integrity. And that didn't come from myself. It was a reinvestment from a friend of mine that saw something in me and was just like, bro, be 100% authentic to yourself. And I was like, yo, that's what I've been doing. I've been giving away my interest, and I've been taking large taxable hits in the short term because I wanted short-term gains, and I was not focused on the long term. I'm telling you, bro, like, this topic is deep. You know what I mean? I can touch on the scripture real quick. Ephesians, 6 and 12, which we all deal with, which Big K.R.I.T was actually dealing with, yourself, myself, of course. In Ephesians, 6 and 12 talks about, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And the beautiful thing I want to touch on about Big K.R.I.T, and then I'm done, is when he talked about how, like, his lights were still on, so he really didn't feel the need to pray. I feel like that was a contradiction of, one light, which is a real true light, to a false one. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally thought that he had his own pride was actually the one that was actually creating the light. But he was actually looking for the short term, which was the money, something quick, something fast, and it brought him right back to that principality, that darkness, bro. So yeah, there's a lot, bro. Like, literally, like, these talks, we could talk for days. We could talk for days.
Right now, there is no one thinking about my music like this. That's why I'm like, yo, listen, that's why I'm such I'm a big fan. I say that, and it's like, I've had people write about my stuff and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, yo, when I talk to other musicians that are fans of music, they're the same way. Like, they're like nerds. They're like, yo, do you listen to this? Do you think about that? And it's like listening to like surgeons talk. Yeah, it's like it's the wildest stuff ever, man. But with that, you talked about money, and with that, we could take a quick short intermission, and I'm gonna play this classic Capone and Noriega, "Follow the Dollar."
For sure.
Shit hard. Shit hard. Shit hard. Shit hard.
What do we get for $10?
Just left the Chinese food store, got my change. Looking at the money, wonder how the shit came.
I'm looking at the money, think the shit might have came from that chick named Jane with the nice thick frame.
Or maybe it came from Bosnia or Somalia, some other third world country place that'll body ya.
Maybe it came from mommy working on a corner. She might have dropped it when them boys ran up on her.
Then little homie picked it up, had to stick me up. He called my house phone and iPhone and hit me up.
And right before he hit the crib, shorty copped the Dutch. Then the A-Rab gave change to the little smut. She said,
What do we get for $10?
Yeah, I heard if you follow a dollar, then you follow a crime scene. Impala, do holler at my team.
and if you follow a dollar, you find a coke trail. Niggas whipped up, holding it wholesale.
Follow a dollar and you'll follow a gun case. Not just in the hood, it go to the estates.
Follow a dollar, you guarantee mark money. You know that I ain't fucking with you, that knock money.
Follow a dollar to the corporate offices. Follow a dollar and you'll find corpses.
Follow a dollar when your hand is hot. They either going straight to the number man or the gambling spot. Like,
What do we get for $10?
Yeah, Follow a dollar, how you get love, to how you get bud, and leave money in the strip club.
Yeah, follow a dollar, that's how you make bread. That's how you break bread. You get money, fuck what they
I
said.
done got money euro, got money yen, pound and peso plus American.
I done got money dirty, got money clean, even got money still sprinkled with blood stains.
I done did it through trial, had to spend a lot of loot, got it back through the dope game and the
You see
prostitute.
the game is about $1. If you gon' follow, niggas follow. If you feel me, man, niggas holler. She said,
What do we get for $10?
told her, this world, baby. Yo. Shit is hot. BB ad-libbing is hot. Yeah. You follow a dollar, you follow a dream, nigga. $10, $20, $50, whatever it is.
What do we get for $10?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Had to throw on that classic CNN record. Little known joint that came out. Oh man, that came out. I want to say like 2005 or six or something like that. I like that record, man, because it's like it put CNN, man. Like a lot of folks don't really think about them as lyricists because they always talking about that, that thug, gangster, shit. But it's like, yo, listen, for me, Nori was one of my favorite rappers growing up because he had like his own language. He had a whole coded language in his music, and so there was always mixed messages in the music, So he would make things like "On the Run," "Eating," and it's like, all right, you're thinking Nori's is one way, but then he make a song like "I Love My Life," and it's like, oh shit, like he a regular, you know what I'm saying, cat, just like anybody else dealing with stuff, and it's like, damn, man, like it's that contradiction, man, that paradox sometimes, but that takes us into the next part that you touched on earlier with navigating the pull between worldly desires and spiritual discipline. And so K.R.I.T speaks about wanting to be humble but also craving status. And this tension between worldly desires and spiritual discipline is something that we all wrestle with. And so how do we navigate the battle between material success and spiritual growth? And how do you balance ambition and humility, right? How do they coexist? And so like what examples are there of individuals who have struggled, with this balance and, got it right or got it wrong? For myself in doing the research, I look up Matthew 6:24, and it's no one can serve two no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other. You will be devoted to the one and despise the other. And specifically with this, they were talking about money, right? Man can't serve two God. You can't serve God and mammon. You can't serve two masters. And I've put that in song lyrics as well, And so with that, it's like that goes back to that choice earlier. I talked about like, you get a certain rank in the Navy, and it's like, damn, the people that got you there, do you continue to serve them, or do you serve that system that structure that's going to elevate you to that next level, but it's going to continue to just oppress those people that got you to that level that you at now, right? And man, it's like for me, I saw a lot of men in my life make that same choice, so it was easy to make, right? They got to a certain level and they were like, you know what, I'm okay, and now it's to get that next level, to that next level. You either saw it in teachers, or you saw it in coaches or parents, family, but things like that. It was always something I could see where there was somebody that was like, all right, I'm not going to go as high as I could to get the next generation to this next level, not just myself. And I'm like, all right, I can respect that. So, if I get put in that position, I know, that's something that I got to do. And so in doing that, spiritually, I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, the pandemic, when it's like all that stuff, like you said, interest, that return on investment, that's what happened, man. Like I got people just hit me up out of the blue, like, hey, you need anything? I see you a new parent. Here's this, here's that. You can do this. They see like my daughter going through like having trouble sleeping. I got people like, hey, like ex girlfriends that I didn't have a fallout with hit me up like, hey, you can do this to help your daughter sleep better. And I'm like, what? And it works. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit. I'm like, you care about me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yo. And it's like,
Yeah, bro.
damn, man, that's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
And but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, even in the relationship, right? It's like, who do I serve? If I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with her, am I serving her as like her partner, or am I serving my desires, man? Like I'm just trying to
Ooh.
smash and dash, right? Right? Or am I serving her and trying to be like a good partner, even though the shit might not have worked out? Am I giving it my all? Because I mean, we done been in
Mm-hmm.
situations where we know we kind of half-assed the relationship, but then we've been in summer, we know we gave it our all, and it's like, we don't feel, it's like, you did what you had to do, right? And it's like you can learn
Mm-hmm.
from those, you can grow from those, and sometimes those have paid off in the end. Like you've been able to learn from those, or reap some kind of reward from that. Um, Even in knowing that that person moved on to something better, right? Because you showed them what better was. And it's like, damn, maybe that's what you were there for, right? Just to show
Mm.
them what better was so they could fumble that, so they could know that's what better was. Because
Mm.
they got to lose that, just like you had to lose something to get where you were, right?
Man.
You had
Listen.
to fumble something, right? So now you have to be fumbled. No.
Mm. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Like damn, I thought about it like that. I was like, well, damn. Well,
Yeah.
shit. That's just life, man. I can't be mad about
Mm-hmm.
that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's just what it
Yeah.
is, man. But that's like that's me actively being humble, right? Because like the G in me is like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, man, fuck that bitch. It was her fault, blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And it could just
Mm-hmm.
be it just wasn't her time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that was too
Yeah.
much. I've definitely been in a situation where a woman was too good for me to accept. It's
Yeah.
like, nah, I gotta fuck this up, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me not text her back for a week. Yo.
Man. Yeah. Man. That's the ego
Yo.
tapping in.
I'm snitching.
Man. Nice, bro. Listen,
Yo.
that is it's a challenge, bro. All around,
Yeah.
especially for men, that ego. Boy, listen, you know what I'm saying? You start tapping into a whole lot of things, man. It's something, bro. It's not easy. It's not easy, and I don't know. I think that when you talk about guys and that have had certain things and either fumbled or whatever. Every man is definitely guilty of it. I mean, even if you look at King Solomon, you look at King
Mm-hmm.
Solomon. This man had everything. I
Yeah.
mean, this dude had what 700 concubines. Like, ain't no telling he still got seeds out there to this day. You know what I'm saying? And he had everything. He had the material wealth. He had the money. He had all the resources you can think of. He squandered that. Yeah, I mean, he wrote a whole book about it in the book of Ecclesiastes. You know what I'm saying? Like even Ecclesiastes. We can go to Ecclesiastes, the first book. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiastes 1:3, he said, "What profit had the man of his labor which he taketh under the sun?" Bro, you know how profound that is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then he even talks about how there's nothing new under the sun. This guy was
Mm-hmm.
clearly in a space of like, like just down, you know what I'm saying? Depressed, really kind of going through it. And this man had everything. Like, so, when you talk about people that have had it and lost it, even within my own life, bro, like, I mean, you remember back in the day, like, I took, my money, I'm buying clothes and shoes and, I was going to fly and this and that. So when I had to actually give it up, I wasn't just giving up the clothes and the shoes and everything else. I was giving up like a creative part of myself. That's kind of how I expressed it. I really didn't say too much, but I expressed myself through that. And that's how I communicated to people. People would look at it and be like, yo, like this motherfucker fly. Like he got the waves, he got this and that. But I was really showing you that I really had, a really, really close relationship with myself. And I really, really, truly love myself. And I was really almost addicted to that attention to detail, the details in the haircut, the details in the shoes. You know what I'm saying? So, navigating that is really, really hard. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be important that whenever we fumble, And I can say this because I played football and I love it. You know what I mean? Flag football especially. And oftentimes, honestly, it's very, very simple. The reason why I fumble is because I had my eyes and my attention on something completely different that was more important in that moment. You know what I mean? And then something else came while I was being distracted and said, I'm going to take this opportunity to get something from this that he actually worked for to do that. He had to actually study me to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it can be looked at as a loss, but even in the long run on losses, it's really like, you know, bro, I've lost 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000 from different people. And I was like, damn, bro, it hurts. But you know what? That 20,000 was the class that I took. That 5,000 was the $5,000. So I have to multiply the losses, if that makes any sense. And then I've got to reinvest those. I've got to reinvest those into my kids. I've got to reinvest it into you, you know, into my niece that just walked into the door, my mom, my brother, my cousin, everyone else to say, yo, like, either you want to pay 20,000 or with the way inflation is right now, you're going to pay a lot more than that. But so either you want to pay that or take the wisdom, just like King Solomon, you know what I'm saying, give away his wisdom and say, look, listen, I'm going to learn from my bro, so it's not a loss. It's really just a loss in the short term, but in the long term, it's a gain for so many people, just like the people that's about to watch this.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like King Solomon, man, like a lot of the rappers that I grew up listening to, all they do is quote the Bible or quote scripture or quote the Quran, things like that, man. So I'm thinking, like, you quoting King Solomon, I'm thinking about King's, like, freaking Wu-Tang, what? King Solomon had many wives, I see many thighs. Yeah, that was, I want to say Ghostface. No, that was Raekwon on Ice Cream video, on Ice Cream. And then Nas, whole song, there's no idea is original, there's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do and how it's done, right? Yeah, oh, like that whole song goes into that whole idea, right? Shout out to Nas. So first off, Nas is the greatest Christian rapper ever. Nas is a Christian rapper. People don't understand that. Nas is the greatest Christian rapper ever.
Man.
If you listen to Nas, all he does is look to the Bible and he's like, okay, I'm gonna just reword that, take that, yep. Nas, you're busted. You're busted. I know what you're doing. You're a Christian rapper. You think you're slick.
Yeah, but he used to say it with so much ease, though, bro. Like his bars, they had ease just in his tempo. Like that dude, man, that dude is.
Him and AZ, man, like him and AZ, because it was like him and AZ and Nas, like they would just quote all these, like whether it was like stuff from the Quran or stuff from the Bible, like they could just make it sound fly. The same way that cats in the South could, like 3 6 Mafia would just put mad biblical stuff in their lyrics, and you're like, yo, that's the complete opposite of what this was supposed to be used for, right? That contradiction, right? They're using the Bible to create this type of music, which I don't think that was, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like, yo, look what it's doing for them and their people and what they can now do with it and what they've been able to do with that now. And it's like, damn, man, mixed messages. And it's like, yo, hey, listen, man, shout out to, hey, listen. Shout out to God. Shout out to, shout out to everybody who had a hand in putting the Bible together, man. That was a great production team. Make sure everybody gets credit. Don't try to be like Diddy and take all the credit from the ghost producers. All right. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. If you tired of King James dancing in front of the Bible, taking all the credit, come over here to God Talks.
Man, legit. Yeah, no, that's real, bro. That's real.
Oh man. All right, let me be serious for a second, man. Let me be serious for a second. All right, so the next thing, man, you cannot serve two masters, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like in chasing that money, man, like you chasing the devil, man. Just like Max Julian said, chasing Lucifer, man. Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence neither, bro. Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence too that, on money, just think about it, like, even when you look at the crypto space, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, think about it. Like, even these words are a trap. They're
it's a crypt.
They have this alignment in crypt. Like, you know what I mean? Think about Tales from the Crypt. Like, I mean, so we talking about crypto. Is that a death currency? Is it a dead currency? And then you look at money, and it's just like, how can you even make that contradiction between, like, a riverbed of money and a bank, which is actually built off the currency, which is life, and actually associated with money with dead white men. That don't even make no sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just white men. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it could be, it could be any person, but they're
Yeah,
all
they're gonna
dead.
put Harriet on the $20 some point. Never that
Yeah,
now. Never that now, but
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't see that.
But no, that goes right to the next thing, right? Because that confusion, man, that's like that anxiety, that stress, right? That mental health, and then the only way to really work through that is self-reflection. And so mixed messages also speaks on the mental toil of living in contradiction. And so Crit acknowledges the confusion and emotional weight that comes with self-doubt and uncertainty. And so what I want to, make sure we definitely touch on is that internal conflict and how does that impact mental health. Just knowing that you are serving somebody else, right? I know myself, I'm in the military, knowing like I'm a pilot on a submarine and we launching missiles, I'm gonna feel a way about that, especially if they're not hitting military targets. We just knocking out civilians. Damn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I joined for a Dodge Charger. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, I got to think about that, right? Like, and so how do I take that time for self-reflection, right? Or how does anybody take time for self-reflection? And then what are some tools that we help to manage that anxiety and self-doubt? And so just thinking about creating a practice of self-reflection that fosters clarity and growth. And then how does faith play a role in helping us process and resolve that internal conflict? And so Philippians 4:7 says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And it's like, all right, well, I don't know what that means, right? Because I'm slow in the Bible terms, right? But if I try to interpret this, as just a regular guy, he's like, okay, so if you trust God, there's peace. And what God knows is way beyond what your dumb ass could understand. So if you just give God your heart and your mind to Jesus, you'll be okay, because you'll be all right, because there's peace with God, and you gave your heart and your mind to God. So there is your peace. That's where you find it. If you don't worry about everything else and you focus on what will give you something that has a return of interest, return of investment, the other shit will play itself out, but you'll maintain your sanity throughout that process, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, right? But the song says, I'll tell you to save your money, but then won't say that I blew it, right? So I'll tell somebody to save their money, and I won't tell them that I blew mine. I'll tell them this lesson I learned, but won't tell them, what I had to do to go through it. That stuff, and that's something that, we gotta not do, right? And so if I can be vulnerable through whatever situation and know that if I gotta be truthful or whatever, or be in a situation where I just have to be me, like in a situation where I'm in the government, right? Everybody's scared to be who they are. People scared to be black. I'm like, this is the best time to be black.
Best time.
Right? It's the best time. He just told me to. He said, hey, be who you want to be. And we'll see who we want to see. That's it. Okay, I can rock with that. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for. Equal opportunity, bruh. Right? And so I'm trying to, okay. And if I just trust that, hey, if I just be who I am for the people that need to see me, we will be okay because I trust them, right? Because they are me, right? Okay. All right. I feel better saying that.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? That's it. That's how I figure it, right? I'm not like, listen, I'm not Bible study Brian over here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, if I just read it like a 5-year-old, like my daughter, like the entry level professional that comes into the spirituality game through Sunday school. If I just make this training aid for that entry level professional, speak to the subject in my language, which is me, and I'm just like, all right, how should I interpret this, or how could I, or how would it work? And it's like, well, damn, this makes sense. And I feel better just even thinking about that. And it's a cycle.
bro.
Shit, it's a practice. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The same way I would study jujitsu, if I just study the Bible, I'll feel better because I'll know more and I have a better relationship. Damn. And then doing that, I'll reflect on myself and I'll learn some shit. Who made this? Somebody that has a understanding that surpasses mind. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
bro. They were spitting.
Nah, he was. It's crazy. It's crazy because, I mean, you know, Christ talks about that in Matthew. You know what I'm saying? He goes into Matthew 18:3. So when you go into Philippians, he was in Philippians here. I don't got it back up. But anyway, in Matthew 18:3, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So what is he saying? He's just saying, you know, from fumble to humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to remain humble in all those things and remain teachable. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps, you know, so it does a lot of things. And I've actually learned this within my own life. It's like, you know, we'll go to, you know, some of Kanye's music, you know, when he says, like, my childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Like, I literally think about, you know, Matthew 18:3 just by even thinking about that verse, because I knew exactly what he was talking about, bro. It's just like your whole life. And see, man, my bro, people can have whatever they want about Kanye, man. This dude, man, like, this dude is winning. He's not, he mixed. They can say whatever they want, but this man was a genius even then, and he still is, bro. I gotta give it to him. But as wild as he is, I'll keep it a buck. But it touches on so many things, because it was always about, you know, even for me, you know, I grew up and, you know, my mom was in the house and I was the oldest. You know, my dad kind of was doing this thing elsewhere. And it was just like, you know, when you get grown or when you hit a certain age or when you do this, it was always that deferred, almost like a programming that was happening. It's like, once you hit a certain age, you know, this will be this and, you know, this will be that. But honestly, like, now that I hit a certain age, I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, like, you know, if I had preserved and remained present with where I was actually at, I mean, I don't know that now, but when you're a kid, you always want to grow up. And when you grow up, it's just like, you didn't realize how good it was when you were just a child, bruh. So it's, bro. It's real, bro. It's real, man. I'm telling you.
I think about that all the time, like that childlike wonder. And that's, and you were like, yea, will not enter the kingdom. And I'm like, well, damn, that's like, you got to be humble, right? So if you're a kid, kids are always in awe of stuff. And
always.
You have to be in awe of the kingdom in heaven, bro. Like, you got to think that's like the Super Bowl. And we kind of think that's like Buffalo Wild Wings. People think they can just get in there.
Yeah.
Like, you can just go on open table and just get into heaven because you was on the waiting list. Nah, man, you know how much them tickets cost? Or if you in the game, you know how hard you got to work? Come on now, right? And we looking at that like it's B-dubs, man. Shout out to B-dubs. But yo, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yo, if you keep that childlike wonder, you can always be in a position of learning. You know, you can always be in that position of, because kids are just so grateful about stuff, man. Like, my daughter tells me all the time, like she'll tell me how she feels in that moment. And she'll be like, Daddy, I'm so happy. And she'll be like, she'll tell me exactly why. And it's like, damn, I'm glad she's listening to what I'm because I always tell her, hey, like, tell me how you feel, like, if you're happy or sad, right? Because I'll tell her the same way. And I try to do that. And it's like, oh, shit, she's really listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that return of investment. And it's like, oh, man, like that childlike wonder. But it's like, okay, hopefully it pays dividends, because when she's 15, she's going to be like, Daddy, I hate you, and here's why.
But I tell you something to that too, bro. And so for now, like, you know, that even, you know, from a friend of mine that was saying, like a really close friend of mine, we was talking about 100% authenticity. I threw the 100% in there. He was just talking about authenticity and integrity. It's like, that's how I gauge my relationships now, is because it's not about what they gave me. It's actually something that was given to them a long time ago that was meant for me, that took a while to mature. Just like an investment, it took a while to mature, for me to mature as well, to actually receive the investment that they had, because the timing was perfect. So that's how I actually gave, bro. I went through the stages of, like, literally still going through it, where I'm like, yo, I be giving so much game in the return on people. I realized I was just casting my pearls to swine. Like they were just gobbling my joints up, taking them, eating them, and then coming right back to like really just, extract even more from me. So I'm just like, I had to be healthy about it and let them know, like, hey, listen, like I ain't really seeing much of return in here, in this area, in this area. And I had to just cut them off because I realized that it wasn't about me alone getting something. It was about how that vessel, like I talked about before, and what I'm actually carrying for other people that I've never even actually met to this point. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep, bro. Like this whole relationship, I can go in, bro, like all day long.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Especially when we talk
that's
about
why that's why this will be the greatest podcast that gets turned into a Pulitzer Prize winning documentary film, right? How we saved America, how we saved America through conversations, right? But what I want to do, because I got to get my daughter to swim lessons, or she's going to hit me with a chair like they did in the Royal Rumble last night. Shout out to Jay Uso. No spoiler alert, he won. So Big K.R.I.T's mixed messages remind us that we all wrestle with contradictions, and recognizing them is the first step towards growth. And none of us are perfect, but through faith, self-awareness, and accountability, we can bridge the gap between who we are and who we want to be. And so I want us all to take time to reflect on areas in our life where we may be sending mixed messages to myself, to yourself, to our friends and family, to others. And are our actions aligned with our beliefs? And if not, what changes can we make? And so I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode of God Talks. This conversation, if it resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Before I get out of here, any words for the people?
Man, just keep on going, man. Have that discernment, you know what I mean, to recognize, the mixing when it's going on, and just focus on that authenticity, integrity, and your relationship with the Most High God, bro. That's it.
That's what's up, man. I'm going to get us out of here with Childish Gambino.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man, and we're out of here. Thank you for joining us. God Talks. We love